ジムに行きます。みんなと一緒にストレッチがうまくいくように主イエスキリスト見守ってください。
アーメン。天の創造様、新しい1週間が月曜日を通して始まりました。そしてまたチャレンジでもあります。この1週間をあなたに委ねます。どうにか私たちが信仰のゆえに全うできることを祈っております。そして何のかけらもなく正しい信仰を持てることができますようにお祈りいたしております。この祈りを主イエスキリストの皆によってお祈りします。アーメン。
Portion and giving moving forward. Is that helpful?
Yeah, it really is because for years I didn't time because I wasn't walking where I was supposed to. The last 2 years, it's just like, oh my gosh, God loves me.
Yeah.
I just can't believe He loves me. And so now it's like I try to walk in the Spirit. I read my Bible every day. I talk to Him every day. He's turning into my best friend again, like He was in my childhood. And I just want to give so much that, it's like, I don't care about paying these bills. Let me give this to my Lord. And every time I do that, He gives back more than enough to pay the bills on time.
Yeah.
And it's just great. He's just so good. And I look over my life. I'm 67. I'm never going to go work because I enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
My house is almost paid off. I can retire if I want to, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
And He keeps me in good health. So it's like, God is so good. And
Yeah.
I just can't get out of that. But yeah, I really enjoy your show, and this has been weighing on my heart the last couple of days. You really know.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your testimony today. I'm confident, David, that you were just an encouragement with what you shared just now, and I'm delighted to hear about your walk with the Lord and how it's deepening, and that relationship that you have with the Father, and how you are wanting just to be generous as an overflow and an expression of your gratitude to God for who He is and what He's done, and the abundance that we have in Him, that He alone is enough. And yet, as a part of that, part of good stewardship is to meet your obligations and, care for those that are, your loved ones. And so you put all that together.
風行ってるね。
I think that
後ろ。
requires us then to walk by faith.
後ろ行ってるね。風。
God doesn't give us all the answers. He wants us to really navigate this.
いや、コンディション入れるから。
And I think finances is one of those training grounds of the heart that allows us to work out our faith on a daily basis. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing. So listen, you've been an encouragement to me, David. I'm delighted that you're on the program. I'm so thankful for your kind remarks, and call back anytime. God bless you, sir. Let's go to Illinois. Hi, Barbara. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I have a problem. Well, it's not a problem. I just need advice. I'm a widow, and we have 3 children. I'm in my 80s, so therefore they're in their 50s and 60s, and the 2 older are doing well. The younger is not, and so over the years, my husband and I have given him money when he needed it, and we've never done that to the other 2. And so I'm just concerned when there comes to the dividing of the estate, if that should be what that should look like.
Yes. Well, it's a great question, and it's one that a lot of folks wrestle with. And I think the starting point is to recognize that, one of your primary responsibilities is this idea of, is the next steward chosen and prepared? And you need to consider kind of where they're at spiritually, financially, just in terms of maturity, and what a gift would do to either accelerate poor decision-making and financial decision-making, as well as lifestyle, to the extent they're not pursuing the Lord. And could that gift actually, take them further away from God? And so just what's the worst thing that can happen, and really considering that fully. But let's do this. I've got to take a break. I'd like to help you kind of think through this and where you go from here. So if I'm going to ask you to just hold the line, and we'll pick this conversation up on the other side. We'll be right back on Faith and Finance. Stay with us.
Hello, I'm Don Hawkins, here to tell you about Encouragement Live. 55 minutes of industrial strength radio encouragement featuring resourceful guests, plus practical biblical insights to help you face life's challenges. We'll be taking your phone calls, so plan to join us for Encouragement Live, Saturdays at 7:05 p.m. Central, 8:05 p.m. Eastern, here on American Family Radio.
Find peace in God's Word. In Nahum 1:3, the Lord has His way in the whirlwind. Frequently in life, we find ourselves in a whirlwind, don't we? Really, the wording means His way prevails even over above the storms of the whirlwind. God is in control. He has His way even above the noise of the storm.
Don't miss Exploring the Word with Dr. Alex McFarland, weekdays at 3 p.m. Central on AFR, or catch up with the podcast at afr.net.
Absolutely free. We know you've learned to be suspicious of those words, but really, you can get biblical financial wisdom delivered to your inbox each week absolutely free. Articles, videos, podcasts, and special offers on biblical resources. Nearly 60,000 people receive our free weekly wisdom email, and you can too. Create your free FaithFi account by going to faithfi.com and click sign up to begin receiving weekly wisdom in your inbox. We are grateful for support from Sound Mind Investing and the Faith and Finance program. For more than 30 years, they've been helping Christians reach their financial goals with step-by-step guidance for investors at every stage, from those just getting started to
これは
those...
今日も頑張ってちょうだい。1週間の初めだから頑張ってちょうだい。今日もエクササイズ頑張ってちょうだい。
はい。
SoundMindInvesting.org.
She's a mom of 3 adult children, 2 of them doing really well financially, 1 not doing so well. And she and her husband, and now she continues to help this child financially along the way. And she's just wondering, how do I approach that as I think about an inheritance and my wealth transfer? And should I be deducting that amount as I, make my decisions around giving? And I think the big principle here that I learned from my friend Ron Blue in the book Splitting Heirs, and by the way, Barbara, I'm going to send you a copy of that book. It's called Splitting Heirs, Giving Your Money and Things to Your Children Without Ruining Their Lives. So you stay on the line after we're done here. But the principle he shares in this book, Barbara, is one of them among many, is that if you love your children equally, you will treat them uniquely. And here's what he means by that. He recognizes, and he and Judy, his wife, in their own wealth transfer, which has changed, the decisions on inheritance have changed over time, they recognize there's different needs. And God doesn't treat us all the same. And he evaluated at different stages in life the needs of his children, and they made their estate plans accordingly. So one child was, an attorney and doing well, and didn't need a lot. Another was, had gone through a divorce and was a single mom and had more in the way of financial needs. And so they constructed their estate plan accordingly. So I think, you are the steward, and your final stewardship decision is to choose the next steward and prepare them. But part of that is a discernment question around what are truly their needs, what is the trajectory of their life, and how can money be a blessing and not a curse. And I don't think you need to automatically, unless you just have a conviction to do this and that's your call, you don't need to automatically assume that everybody needs to get the same amount. So then, once you look at that, you would make that decision to either, give more to one child. And by the way, the one who's doing the worst financially may not be the one you give the most to, because again, you may decide that that's going to lead him or her down a path, further away to more poor financial decision making. And so that's a decision you have to make. And then after you make those decisions, then I think you need to come back and say, okay, based on the decisions I made on how I want to divide my estate and how I can make sure that, you know, they're prepared for the money that they would receive, regardless of how much, how do I want to account for any assistance that has taken place during their lifetime? Do I want to just treat that as a part of how I was blessing one child who was in need and I'm not going to factor that in at death? Or do I want to somehow account for that by, you know, withholding a portion to kind of make up for that? I don't think there's a right or wrong answer there. I think you just need to consider that as a part of the overall consideration. The last thing I'll say, and then I want to hear your thoughts, is to the extent there continues to be a financial need with this one child that has had financial struggles, I would just challenge you to prayerfully consider whether you are actually helping by giving financial assistance, or is it possible you need to exercise some tough love because you're in some way perpetuating their poor financial decision making, or, you know, their hunger to go out and, you know, work and earn what they need, or perhaps spending more than they've earned because you're coming in and bailing them out, and whether the very best thing you could do would be to say, you know what, I love you and I want to help you in certain times and in certain ways, but I'm no longer just going to give you handouts because I just don't think it's helping the situation. Now, I've thrown a lot at you there, Barbara, so give me your thoughts.
Well, yeah, because, okay, so another thing, so then do I share this with them so that, like, you know, after I'm gone, they won't say, oh, really? You know? I mean, I think it's important that they know what I'm doing. What do you
I think you're right. I agree. I think it's important to have that conversation with your children so they understand your decision-making process and there are no surprises. And you can express your heart to them in why you've done what you've done. And I think that's a good thing, and that's addressed in this book as well, but I would communicate that. So I think your next step is really just to, first of all, just take a step back and pray and just say, Lord, what should I be doing right now with regard to the child that continues to be in financial need? And do I need to make a change? Could I be perpetuating poor behavior in terms of financial wisdom and decision making? And then secondly, how should I handle this last stewardship decision I'm going to make on who the next steward is? First of all, should I be giving some or all of it away to ministries doing the work in the name of Jesus? And to the extent you decide to leave an inheritance, how should it be divided? And I would go child by child and say, how could this be a blessing to them? And what's the worst thing that could happen if they get X dollars? You fill in the blank. And really think and pray through that with discernment, and then decide how much you want to leave to each one. And then I think, yes, the last step is communicating that.
Okay, very good.
All right. Now listen, I want you...
I've been worrying about this for a while.
Well, I don't want you to worry anymore. I hope you're a reader, because I'm sending you a book. So I want you to stay on the line, and we're going to get your information. And in a few days, you're going to get a package in the mail from me here at Faith and Finance, and it's going to have a book called Splitting Heirs. And I'm going to pray that as you read the words of my good friend Ron Blue, that will be a further encouragement to you, and it'll give you some help in these decisions you've been wrestling with. So stay on the line. We'll get your information.
Oh,
Thanks for your call today. Let's go to Georgia. Hey, Mike. Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
3.17.
Yes, thank you, Rob. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a 56-year-old retired teacher, but I'm working as a part-time job right now. I've got no debt, and I'm drawing my teacher retirement. But I've got $28,600 in a 403B, and it's in a fixed account right now. And I didn't know whether I should be putting that into the stock market or whether I can, and how to go about doing that if I should.
Yeah, so you said you are retired, but you're working part-time, and you said you in this 403B you have $23,000?
28,000.
28,000, okay. And so would you expect to have to touch this in the next 10 years, or would you just continue to live on your teacher's retirement plus any side income you pull in?
That's right, yeah. I wouldn't need the money anytime soon.
Okay. Yeah, then I would get it invested, because keep in mind, even once you reach retirement, I mean, once you reach age 65, as a male in this country, your life expectancy is 83. If you're in good health, Lord tarries, you might need this money to last decades. So putting it in that stable account is probably going to end up just losing purchasing power because of inflation. You're not really growing it. So I would probably roll it to an IRA and just put it in some high quality mutual funds, either some faith-based investing funds like you'll find on our website at faithfi.com, like Eventide or Guidestone or Praxis or One Ascent, or a robo-advisor that's going to use an indexed approach to investing like the Schwab Intelligent Portfolios, or even our friends at soundmindinvesting.org. Any of those could help you with a smaller amount, which, $28,000 is less than what you would need to have an advisor manage it actively. But I like the idea of you being in a balanced portfolio with a mix of stocks and bonds, with the goal of saying, hey, what could it look like for this 28,000, to be 100,000, down the road? And maybe you're even adding to this IRA. As long as you have earned income, you could continue to contribute to it if you had some surplus, just to continue to build up a nest egg that you might need to tap into down the road for medical expenses or something like that.
Okay. And how would I go about getting the IRA?
So you would just have to decide where you want to custody the IRA. So are you going to open it at Charles Schwab? Are you going to open it at Fidelity? Wherever you decide, you'd go online, you'd open a traditional IRA, and then you'd contact your plan administrator who handles the 403B, and you'd say, I want the surrender paperwork to roll this over. That's the key. You're not taking a distribution. You want to roll it over to your IRA. They'll give you a form, or you fill it out electronically. You put in the account number of your new IRA and the custodian, and then they'll just send the money through the ACAT system, and then a few days later it would just show up as cash in your IRA, and then you'd need to invest it at that point.
All right, great. Thank you. God bless.
All right. Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate it. Let's see. Quickly to Maureen. We'll finish in Edwardsville, Illinois. Go ahead.
Hello. I have an HSA account that's been frozen since I went on Medicare.
コーヒー持ってくよ。
Because once, of
ここ
course,
に置いと
once
く
you
か
go
ら。
on Medicare, you can no longer
そう、忘れ
contribute
ちゃ
to
わないから
HSA.
忘れないよう
I'm
に
70 years old.
これ持ってく
I'm
の
still
それ
working,
ともここに置いとこう
and
か
it's bugging me that, that
飲むなら
money is
も
not
忘れないよう
a lot of
に
money. It's only
飲むなら忘れ
$16,000 is all I have in there.
だから
But it's
水持
not
ってん
really
の
gaining
お父さん
anything but really small interest.
はい
So I want to know how I can
ちょっと時間あるか
invest
らそしたら
it
忘れないように
outside of the bank where it,
Mm.
where it is.
いいよいいよ
Withdraw
忘れないように
money from it and do my own investing.
Yeah, you would want to leave it in there and invest it inside the HSA because, there are benefits to having that HSA money past age 65. You have some additional options with regard to how that money can be used. And, especially if you use that for, healthcare expenses down the road, it could be a great resource to you with obviously a lot of tax advantages. So what I would do is if your bank that's holding that HSA doesn't offer the ability to invest it, I would just look at transferring it to an HSA with another institution like HSA Bank or any number. You could go to nerdwallet.com or just do an internet search for, the best HSA, providers